Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I got a good one for y'all today. It's your girl Sharita, the Behavior and Learning Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for your child's behavior and learning challenges. We're going to be talking about a good one today. Do you have teenagers? If you have teenagers, then you're going to want to watch this, okay? If whether your teenager is struggling in school or they're doing really good in school, you know what I mean? You're still going to want to watch this, okay? Hello, Cheryl. Welcome, sis. How you doing today? It's a good one. We're going to be talking about study tips for teens, okay? Now, the reason I'm talking about this, and this is on my mind, is because my own daughter is in her junior year of high school, and we're talking about colleges now. You know what I mean? So my study tips that I taught her, and I'm teaching her now, and then I teach my students, my middle and high school students, is designed for them to not only do good in high school, but also do good when they go to college. All right. So, does your teen have trouble with studying? Does your teen study, like, wait until the due date to start studying, or start studying for a test, or doing a project, and then everything piles up? Do they struggle when it's time to take tests in school? You know what I mean? If your teen is going through all of that, I understand. Let's talk about it. I got some tips for you. And some of these I used when I was in college, okay? All right, so the first one is always keep a notebook and pencil handy. Always be taking notes, all right? Even if everything, your teacher puts everything on online, Canvas, everything is there, you could just look at it. Always be taking notes, okay? I always tell my students, and I tell my children too, good writers are good readers, good readers, good writers. So they're always writing. And when you're writing, you're learning. So you could be learning from listening and hearing from your teacher, but also you're learning because you're writing it down. That's like another layer of learning. That's another chance for you to absorb the material. Always be writing, even if it's online, even if all your notes that you need is, all you gotta do is open up Canvas, is there. Your teacher maybe printed out a study guide, it's already there. Make sure you're always writing it down as well, okay? Always have your brain working. So that's number one. And if you have a teenager, get them to sit with you and watch this too, okay? Because this is going to help them. And I just want to say really quick to my students, because I told them that I was going to do this live, and then I'm going to show them and send them the checklist as well, so that they can hang it up. Hi guys, how you doing? First of all, what's up, my champions? All right. Make sure you have a pen in your hand right now, taking notes during this live, okay? Always be writing, y'all. You know how we do, all right? All right, number two, make sure your study area is set up. It's not just I have work to do and I'm just going to chill in my room and do my work. Make sure you have a space in your room or wherever you study that's set up just the way you need. Everything is perfectly set up and organized for what you need to study, how you like to study. Make sure everything is there. I know some of you love to study with music, listening to music while you're studying, and that's how I did the same thing too, okay? If that works for you, okay, good. If you're getting a lot of studying done. But also, we're going to be talking about other things to add to that. All right, but make sure you have your area ready, it's set up, and when it's time to study, you go to the area, it's already set up, everything you need is already there. Okay, that's number two. Also, number three is study like you are in college. Okay, so that means you're going to study differently, you're going to study harder. You're going to do a little bit more than what's expected of you in the classroom. All right? you really are going to do more than what your classmates are doing in the classroom. Don't look at what your classmates are doing and what the teacher is doing and say that, well, this is how it's supposed to be. Because your teacher is teaching a bunch of kids. Some kids are more enthusiastic about their learning than others. So the teacher is teaching in general across the class. So that if you want to perform like a champion, and you want to learn like a champion, then you're going to need to do more. Okay? Make sure you're always doing more. Make sure you're always operating at a higher level. So when you go into class, make sure you're 100% prepared. You have everything you need. Go in that class, set yourself up, get your notebook and your pencil ready or your pen ready to take down notes. Put the date at the top, write the name of the class top of the page, and then open up your laptop or Chromebook. Make sure it's already ready for whatever the lesson is. Open it up. Be ready. Be ready. Be on point. Okay? So you can get the most you can out of that 50 minutes or 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, however long your class is. I want you to be on point, and I want you to get the most out of that class while you're there. Don't wait for don't let the teacher teach, and maybe you absorb some, maybe you don't. Maybe you understand, maybe you don't. And then later on, when it gets tough for you, now you're trying to catch up. If you have a question, make sure you're always asking questions. Make sure you're always participating. Make sure you're always writing it down, okay? Writing down notes, all right? Develop a relationship with your teacher by asking questions, okay? And immediately ask questions if you have a problem. Just stay on top of it, okay? So you're going to, when I say study like you're in college, what I really mean is study like you are paying for this, okay? You are paying for this. This is how you conduct yourself in the classroom, because when you get to college, honey, that's money being spent on your education. So by the time you get there, you're an adult, and you're going to want to get the most out of it. It's not going to be playing around, okay? And when you get home, study like that. The grade on that exam means so much to you, because you need to do good in these courses, because this is directly related to your major. So you got to make sure you do your best. Study like you're already in college. Even if you're a high school student, start now. Hello, Charlotte. How you doing? Welcome, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about study tips for teens. First, we got always keep your notebook and pen handy, even if you have your devices to use or your Chromebook. Always be taking notes. Then we got set up your study area. Make sure your study area is straight and it's consistent. It's set up just for you. And then study like you are in college, okay? If you're in high school, study like you're in college already. Start the habits now. Next one is create a study wall. It's very important to have anything that you're studying, anything that you may have not grasped the first time or you need to learn, it goes up on your wall. And then read the wall. Study the wall. Make sure it's somewhere, not in a wall somewhere. I remember one of my middle school students, she's in high school now. I was telling them to do this, and she's like, but I have my room set up a certain way. I don't want to put stuff on my wall. And then she said, I'll just put it in the closet. That's the same as leaving it in a notebook, honey. Out of sight, out of mind. So when you write your notes down and you close the notebook, you ain't thinking about it no more. You don't, it's not in your face, okay? So she wanted to put it in her closet. The only time she gonna see it is if she go in her closet, and then she'll barely see it then, okay? And I have another student who used his door, and he had post-it notes up there, he had index cards up there, he had paper up there, everything that he was learning. I taught him how to read from when he first came into the classroom until now. So he learned a lot, and I taught him any words that he come across that he don't know that we study that goes up on your wall. So his door, that's what he used. So guys, choose a door, choose a spot in your room. Your education and your growth is that important, and you deserve for it to be a priority enough for you to choose a part. There's a place in your wall that can be dedicated just for your learning. Okay, so have that up on the wall. Use a wall. Have a study wall, not just in a notebook, but up on the wall. Next one is study for at least an hour every day. Listen, if you don't study, the work's gonna be hard. If you study for an hour every day, it starts to be something that you don't even have to put that much effort into thinking and remembering and figuring out. You know, some math work is hard for you right now. We don't use that word in my program. We don't say hard. But that's what you might feel. You might feel like it's too difficult right now. It's hard to do. That's because you're not used to it. You got to get your brain used to it. And the more you work on it, your brain starts to form connections, okay? So you're going to understand more today than you did yesterday. You're going to understand it more tomorrow than you do today, okay? Every day that you spending time on your work and studying, your brain it's not just memorizing it, it's drawing connections. Oh, so this is what it means. Oh, so if I do this is the step that I've been missing in math, in this math problem. This is why I get it wrong, because I now have to work on this step. You might not see that until the second day or the third day. So every day is an opportunity for growth. Every day you get stronger. Every day you learn more. Every day your comprehension gets better, right? Or you could wait till the day before the test and try to rush that process and cram all of it in at the same time. Which one do you want? This is what I mean by it could be easy or it could be hard. If you study every day, then it becomes easier. Now you know it. Okay? If you don't study and then now it's the day before the test, your brain has not had a chance to really learn the material, draw the connections, put everything together, and now you are stressing your brain. Now you are probably feeling anxious about the test, worried you might not pass it. So why not just love on yourself? And this is really a form of self-care, because this is important to you. It's your grade, okay? And you want to feel good about it. So why not just love on yourself every day for an hour and let your brain just absorb the material, okay? Dedicate that to yourself. You deserve it, okay? All right. And then the last one, and then I have some study tools for you to have, is teach someone else. So whatever you learn in class, when you study it, you teach someone else. We do that all the time in my tutoring program. And y'all know that my students, you know that I'm like, okay, create your own math problem. Now create your own math problem and then present it. Create two math problems for your classmates to solve. You have brothers in your house, sisters. You have your mom, your dad, your cousins, anybody around. Have them, ask them to work with you so that you can now create a math problem, and teach it. Or you can teach what you're learning in biology. You can teach what you're learning in chemistry. When you put yourself in a position of a teacher, you are now operating on a higher level, okay? That's more active learning. You have to do something different with your brain in order to create a math problem. It's more passive if you're given a math problem and you're solving it. But if you have to create it and then solve it, okay, and to teach someone else how to solve it, now you really got it. You really, really, really got it. So do that as much as possible, okay? Think about it this way. I have students in my program, younger students, who are exposed to their older brothers and sisters who are learning in my program as well, right? And they have learned so fast because they are in that environment where they have an older brother or sister who is learning something and they're paying attention. so then they become advanced. Okay, so if you are in the environment where the learning is always going on, and you're actually putting yourself in a position of teaching, you're exposing yourself to this material at another level, another time, in a different way, in another way. Your brain is going to love you, honey. And when it's time to take this test, you are going to be ready. Okay? Now, let's review the tips really quickly, and then I'm going to tell you about study tools that every teenager should have. Every teenager should have. Number 1, always keep your notebook and pencil handy. Number 2, set up your study area. Number 3, study like you are in college. I'm going to give you some more about that in a second. Number 4, create a study wall. Number 5, study for at least 1 hour every day. And I'm saying at least. Once you get into it, honey, then you just keep going. If you want to keep going, you just keep going. If you need to keep going, you keep going. Take a break every hour. Every hour, get up, move around, go use the bathroom, get something to drink, stretch, you know what I mean? And then come back fresh. Give your brain time to just relax, clear out, and then restart. Especially if you've been working intensely on something for a little bit, okay? And then the last one is teach someone else. All right, so I'm going to skip to number 3, which is have an audio recorder, okay? And I know that you guys have them in your cell phones. That's number 3 study tool. When I was in college, I didn't just, and it wasn't just me, I didn't just take down notes. We didn't have Chromebooks back then, y'all. I didn't just take down notes, all right? I also recorded the professor giving a lecture. And then I would listen to it later, okay? So what you can do is you can record, if your teacher is fine with this, you can record the teacher giving a lesson. Now, if your teacher is not okay with this, then ask permission first, okay? All right? Because I'm not a big fan of cell phones being used in the classroom, all right, and disrupting class. So ask the teacher first. Also, what you can do is, you know, we said study for at least an hour every day. You're going to go home and you're going to read through your notes, okay? This is to prepare for when you're in college. You learn in class. When you go home, that's when you get to work, honey. So you're going to read through the notes that you wrote down during the day, and you're going to record yourself reading your notes aloud, okay? And then at night before you go to bed, you're going to press play, and you're going to listen to it while you're sleeping. You're going to press play while you're getting ready in the morning. Can you imagine that? Let's say you have a biology exam coming up. Biology is kind of tough for you at the moment. At the moment, it's temporary, right? You haven't mastered it yet. So imagine you going over your notes every night and recording yourself, and then pressing play while you're getting ready for bed. You hear it again. And then in the morning before you go to school, you hear it again. It's going to be, you're just going to know it. After a while, you're just going to know it. This is what I did when I was in college to learn, because I had biology, I had pre-calculus, you know what I mean? I had, of course, what was it? American National Government. Honey, that was a 3-hour lecture, and that was a tough class to be in for 3 hours. That was a tough class to be in, okay? I remember every time for me, I don't know why, but for me, I thought that if I get Nutter Butters and a Coca-Cola from the vending machine, that would keep me awake during class. So I used to get a pack of Nutter Butters and a Coca-Cola and go to class and be in there for 3 hours, okay? So you're going to have all this, right now is a high school student. You have classes that are challenging, okay, with a lot of material to remember. And you need to be studying and reminding yourself of, a lot of this stuff is easy A, if you just study, and if you just take notes, and if you expose yourself to it on a daily basis. It's an easy A, okay? So imagine you've been struggling and you've been getting low grades on your biology exam, and then for a week before the next test comes up. You are studying this way. You're taking down notes. You're putting your notes up on the wall. You're reading the wall. You're reading your notes, and you could record me doing that too. You're recording it. You're listening to it. You may be listening to it while you walk into school. Put it in your ear, press play, and listen to it while you're walking. And then the next exam, do you think that you will have a higher grade? What do you think? Yeah, I agree. You would definitely have a higher grade. So when you employ these tactics, right? These little strategies, this is all guaranteed to boost your grades. Do you want higher grades? And do you want to develop good study habits now, so when you get into college, it's a habit by now. And you know that you're going to get do good on your exams, right? If you say yes, become a master studier right now. So the audio recorder is a big, huge asset when it comes to studying, okay? So another tool, have a physical calendar up and put the dates of when your assignments are due and when your tests are coming up. And hang this physical calendar up on a wall. You want to put the dates in your phone, right? But again, use your sense of sight to always help you stay on top of things and remember things. And if it's in a phone, it might be a reminder, right? But if it's on a calendar and every day you walk past that calendar and you say, oh yeah, I have this coming up, I have that coming up, that is going to help you be on top of things. Because another thing that is makes it tough when you are, studying in college, when you're in college or in high school, is when you're not thinking about when a test is coming up or when it's supposed to be or when a project is due. You don't really know the date or when it's due, or a classwork assignment is due, or a paper is due. You don't really know the date because you're not looking at it all the time. You're like, oh yeah, when is it due? You don't want to be in that situation, okay? That's just added stress. So have a calendar up there. You can color code it, hang it up. Every time you have something due, write it down on that calendar so you know what to focus on for the week, okay? And of course, have a pen and notebook. We already said that. Highlighters, important. Post-it notes, very good to have when you are creating your study wall. Your study wall is almost like a notebook, right? And you can use post-it notes to highlight certain important parts of what you're studying, important vocabulary words, or important step in math that you usually miss if it's algebra, important step or important rule that you usually miss or forget. Write it down that post-it note and put it up on the wall so that you always remember it, okay? Index cards, same thing, especially with vocabulary. Or you could put a math problem up. You could take, if you have a study guide, you could write all the math problems on these individual index cards, right? And then put it in a bucket or something, or like a big cookie jar, animal crackers jar. Shake it up, pull one out. Like, this is the problem I gotta focus on right now. And then complete it. Throw that one to the side. Pull another one out. You know what I mean? Be surprised. Build up, okay? Build up to it, okay? And then a whiteboard. Get a whiteboard in your house. A whiteboard is excellent for working out math problems. Get somebody to be your audience and watch you and teach them how to do the math using the whiteboard, okay? Okay? And then we have mounting putty, like blue putty, tacky, adhesive that you can use. They sell it on Amazon. It's blue. It looks like gum. You take a piece off, roll it up, smash it into the wall, and then you can hang up stuff on your study wall with it. The thing that's good about this is it doesn't tear up your walls, okay? So I started using it when I was a teacher, and we use it in this house all the time. When you take, if you tape you use tape and you tape it up on the wall, when you pull it off, it'll tear the wall, tear your paint off, right? But this won't tear, okay? So that's another thing that you can use. Always use your wall and put it up. When you're in school, if you live in the dorms, have a study wall. It is so important. Last thing, YouTube videos. Anything that you are, any class that you have in high school that it might not be your best class, it may be a little challenging. There are tons of YouTube videos that will teach you how to do it. So there's no excuse for failing anything, because you can get help from your teacher, right? You can ask your teacher, there's tutoring in school, right? But when you are studying, you won't be failing. And if you're studying and you are not too sure about something, open up YouTube, right? And find a YouTube video, watch it and practice. But here's the trick. Don't just be actively learning while you're watching a YouTube video. Don't be passive about it. Don't just press play and then watch the YouTube video and expect to understand. You got to make sure that your brain is working and thinking. So let's say you press the YouTube, and this is how I teach it, and this is what we do in my tutoring program, right? And guys, I know you know this. You know how we do it. You press play, you listen. When the teacher in a YouTube video is get ready to explain the math problem, you pause it. You complete the math problem yourself. Okay? Now, when I say that, you may be saying, well, I don't know how to do it. It doesn't matter if you know how to do it at the moment. What you need to do is give your brain a chance to start to try to figure it out or make connections, right? So you do it on your own. Then you press play, and you press play and pause. Press play and pause, step by step, so you can see at each step, did I do that? Was I thinking that? Did I get that correct? Was I close? Right? Did I not do that correct? What was I supposed to do? Okay? So don't watch the YouTube video for the work to learn how to do it, the problem, to see what the problem is, and get the answer, and then feel like, okay, I got it now. You have to, as soon as he tells you, this is the problem we're going to work on right now, you pause it, write it down, and then work on it yourself to see how much you know in that moment. Then after you press play, you can make adjustments, okay? All right, y'all. So we never do that. We always pause it. We pause it, except, when I'm trying to review. Sometimes I'll just let it play. But we pause it and we work the problem out and think, okay? Above all, a big study tip is to believe in yourself, and understand that if there's something you don't know, you will know. If it's something that's challenging right now, it won't be for long. It's temporary. And if you want an A on a test, then you shall have an A. Put that in your head. This is what I want an A. Never tell yourself, I want to pass. You're better than that. And you're more capable. Even if you don't know at this moment that you are more capable of that than that, even if you don't know that you are an A student, I do. I'm telling you right now that you can get that A. Okay? But these are good tips and strategies. But first and foremost, tell yourself, I want to get an A on this biology exam. I want to get an A on my math exam, on my algebra, on my pre-calculus, whatever it is. And then start working on it. And every time you take an exam, say the same thing. You will find that the more that you tell yourself that you are an A student, the more you tell yourself that you're about to tear this test up, you got this, okay? Combined with these study strategies, you will get closer and closer and closer and closer to an A. And then you'll end up just getting A's. I guarantee you. But first, you got to believe in yourself, okay? I believe in you. I know you can do this, all right? Now, before we end, I just want to say, when I told you before, be on point when you go in class. You want to take this seriously. So When it's time for you to study, make sure you're focused only on studying. Eliminate distractions where you are in a room with a bunch of people and then working with them, right? Working with around them. Eliminate distractions like you're supposed to be studying, but you are now watching TikTok videos. And you might even stop and decide to do a TikTok video. No, don't waste your time like that. Time is money. Time is money. So if you look at right now, if you look at your high school classes like you're paying for them, like college, right? Then you're paying for them, your parents paying for them, and you're going to be getting student loans. And later on, when you are my age or younger than my age, you'll be paying for them still. Then you want to get the most out of your education, honey. The most. Start now. All right? All right, I love y'all. Great job. Keep up the good work. And I'm wishing you the most successful school year. All right? And then as for parents, you're looking for tutoring for your team. We still have space in our middle high school group where we work on, of course, behavior and focus, we work on mindset. That's what it mostly is about. It's mindset, changing our habits, but also improving our focus and improving our study strategies, and improving math and literacy. That's what we focus on here at the Merck Unlimited Growth Institute. So if you're looking for a tutor, then you can message me or visit growthinstitute.mykajabi.com. That's GROWTH Institute.mykajabi.com. All right? Looking forward to serving you. Believe in yourself, believe in your child, honey, and always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace. Mwah.